What is really good, fam? What's up, everybody? My name is Tito. Once again, back at you with a little bit of a different video here. This past weekend, I was able to go ahead and compete at the Virginia, Midlothian to be exact, mid-season showdown, my first event of the 2017 VGC season, and I finished with a 3-3 record, getting 18th out of 35 players or so. I itched out of points. Top 16 were awarded championship points, so due to resistances and Swiss format, stuff like that, I wasn't able to get points. However, I had some dope battles, had a great time, and I just want to show you guys a little bit, snippet of what that day was like for me. The team report will be out either later this week or early next week, so stay tuned for that. But for right now, I'm going to show you guys what by far was the most draining battle for me that entire day. Definitely one of the best battles I've ever had, ever. So I'm really excited to share with you guys this video. This took place round 5, okay? I had I believe I had a 2-2 record at this point. So I was itching towards getting the top 16, because at this point it was very unlikely I was going to make top cut. So I just wanted to make sure I was in that top 16 for those points, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get those points. But this battle ended up being just incredible, so I'm happy to share this with you guys. So we're going to run into it. Callie was my opponent. His name was Callan or Cal. I'm sorry, I don't exactly remember the name. I apologize for that. But he was bringing Finny, Coco, Porygon 2, and Marowak, and I also was bringing Porygon 2 and Marowak, but I instead brought Gyarados and Kartana. So we're going to get it right into this, and again, I'll give you guys a full rundown of my team in a later video to come. But for right now, here we are, round 5 of this mid-season showdown. You know, big championship points on the line, a huge event for me, and I'm going to go ahead and lead with my Marowak and my P2, expecting him to lead Porygon 2 and Tapu Koko. I got it about half right. He led with Finny instead. So it was kind of like a mix-up, like was I going to lead Marowak or Gyarados? And was he going to lead Coco or Finny? It really mattered. I could have also led Kartana as well. So, but I was pretty confident both of us were going to lead Porygon 2, try to get that early download. But he go ahead, and he got the special attack download. I did not. I got the attack download. So I went to go ahead and switch to my Kartana, who has a really good move pool against both of those Pokemon with Sacred Sword and Leaf Blade. So he's going to go ahead and switch to his Marowak, which is a really good switch for him. He went ahead and set up a Calm Mind, predicting that I was going to use Thunderbolt. So he gets the special attack boost as well as the special defense boost, and my Thunderbolt goes straight into the Marowak, courtesy of that Lightning Rod. So that's not going to really do much right there. Now, this next turn I'm kind of thinking about what to do. I ended up deciding to switch out and bringing in my Gyarados here, trying to get a better matchup against this team, and also drop him with the Intimidate the Marowak so he can't go ahead and do some Flare Blitz Shadow Bone shenanigans. But he's going to go ahead and hit the Muddy Water. My Porygon 2 is actually going to go ahead and juke that. So Duck Dodgers is an apropos name. But the Muddy Water out here doing an okay amount of damage considering the resistances. But the Flare Blitz also going to come through as well. Going to go ahead and target. He doubled up on my Kartana, hoping to break the Focus Sash, but I was able to live that with the Intimidate right there and get some good recoil. So the Ice Beam was going to come through as well. I predicted actually that he was going to predict my switch, so I might have overthought it a little bit. I should have probably hit the Finny. However, there goes the Marowak with a Protect here. And I went ahead and used Dragon Dance, expecting him to Calm Mind or even double Protect here. But that wasn't the case. Big misplay by me. So he went ahead and Moonblast my Gyarados, got rid of it immediately. Or excuse me. Oh yeah, I lived with 1 HP, which was kind of sick. So I want to go ahead and Ice Beam, doing negligible damage right there. So at that point, I'm just hoping for the freeze. It also being not a Thunderbolt. So the Marowak is in a little weird position here. So he has to switch out into his Porygon 2, which allows me to get a free move out right now. And I elect for the Earthquake, going for spread damage. In retrospect, I probably should have gone through the Hydro Vortex to get extra damage on whatever it is he was going to switch into. However, I went for the Earthquake, trying to get some spread damage as well on to the Finny. Again, misplay on my part, but, you know, I was really nervous. But again, I also predicted the switch, so I went for a Thunderbolt as well. So doing, again, negligible damage right there, especially with that Calm Mind boost. So we're already 5 turns in now, and I'm already lost 1 Pokemon, so it's looking kind of bad for me right now. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Kartana now, which is the obvious pick here. So when I tried to see how much damage I could do, but the Tapu Fini with the Protect, I didn't expect him to have Protect and Calm Mind. A really defensive Tapu Fini right there. So I went ahead and went for the Recover on my Porygon 2, knowing that I was safe against whatever decided to hit me. He went ahead and went for the Ice Beam on the Kartana, tried to get some damage off like that. Now the Focus Sash is now not a factor at all. So the Misty Terrain disappears, and this is where I take advantage of this. This is where the tides start to turn, right? For me personally. So I'm running Toxic on my Porygon 2 for the sole purpose of getting rid of other Porygons. Because most of them are running Trick Room right now. So I go ahead and go for the Toxic on his Porygon 2, and I'm going to go ahead and get that off. So that Toxic begins, and this is very, very important for the remainder of the battle, the fact that I get it off this early. So he went ahead and set up the Trick Room, and the Toxic starts to bring down, the Porygon 2. I go ahead and protect on my Kartana, which I feel like was an obvious play here. So the Porygon 2 again goes for the Ice Beam. And I go for a Toxic on the Marowak, but I unfortunately miss, which kind of sucks. But it ended up being okay. So I see what he's trying to do there. He's going for the Shadow Bone to try and predict my switch into Marowak, but I don't give it to him. At this point, I've decided that I'm probably going to lose the Kartana as well. It's looking kind of bad for me in the position that I'm in right now. And so I just decide to go for as much as I possibly can. So I go for the Ice Beam right here on Marowak. Not going to get any damage basically, but he goes to the Shadow Bone and going to go ahead and not take out my Kartana as I go for the Sacred Sword. I probably it was a 50-50, right? If he stayed, I expected him to also stay and just go and do damage on my Kartana. That's why I'm going for the Sacred Sword. However, that was not the case. So he goes ahead and actually brings in his Tapu Koko. Now this is also a very, very pivotal moment as he switches to Electric Terrain here, removing the Misty Terrain and allowing me to go ahead and use Toxic again. So this is very, very important for the remainder of the battle. So I go ahead and use Ice Beam on the Tapu Koko, doing pretty decent damage. I have a little bit of a a special investment into my special attack. As far as EVs, I believe I'm running around 36 EVs into my special attack, so I am doing damage more than the average Porygon, as well as I make sure, which is also very important, I built my Porygon to outspeed other Porygons. It's not min speed at all. It has some EVs and it has some IVs in speed. That way, I can outspeed. I can outspeed other Porygons, and that is also very important. So keep in mind now he has Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Porygon, and Marowak here. He has all four of his Pokemon here, all the way in the back. So now here comes the real problem for me. I have to make a 2v4 comeback. Now, will I do it? We're about to find out. So he goes ahead and withdraws Tapu Koko, knowing that I'm probably going to hit him with something. And he brings in his Marowak and goes for the Muddy Water. He misses the Muddy Water on my Marowak, which is huge. Which is absolutely huge. Him missing this Muddy Water, because it definitely would have at least done 80%, if not giving me the Oko. But the Bonerang gonna come through and do big damage right here. I'm gonna go take out his Marowak, which is also how I start to claw my way back. So he brings in, he actually avoids the Ice Beam here, which was kind of annoying. Just any damage at this point is good damage. So he brings in his Porygon 2, and remember, this Porygon 2 is Toxic. Now, the Electric Terrain is out right now. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, the only way I win is if I stall. So I'm going to go ahead and protect on the Marowak, expecting another Muddy Water. He goes ahead and hits for a Moonblast on my Porygon 2, which was a really good read by him. I definitely could have been a little bit more offensive in that specific spot, but I was so afraid of the Muddy Water, I felt like I had no choice but to protect. But I'm going to get the Toxic off on the Tapu Fini. So now Fini, as well as his Porygon. So he doubles up on my Porygon right here. And from this moment, I knew this going in, because that's what I designed my Porygon 2, but now it's for sure I outspeed his Porygon 2, which is incredibly important because it allows me to set up recovers before he's able to deal the finishing blow. Because maybe Koko, but usually not one Pokemon. Neither of these two Pokemon can kill me from where I am. can get the KO right now. But he's going to hit the Muddy Water. I'm going to take big damage on Marowak, but I am going to survive as it is a roll. So the Shadow Bone coming through and doing big damage on Tapu Fini. Huge damage. I did not expect to do that much with the Thick Bone, as always, coming in red hot right there. The return is going to go ahead and do damage as well. But again, I'm going to tank that for easy. So now I get a free Protect. I get another turn for Toxic, which means that this Tapu Fini is essentially gone. It doesn't die right there to the Toxic at the moment. But, you know, if he stays in, he dies. Excuse me. And if he switches, it's like whatever. So he goes ahead and goes for the switch instead, trying to save his Tapu Fini, possibly bringing Misty Terrain. So the Electric Terrain comes out, isn't going to do much as far as overall, but I obviously have to use Protect here. It was a 50-50 whether or not he was going to switch or just let it go. But I go for the Recover on my Porygon 2. So now, full health Porygon 2 against Tapu Koko, his P2, and a Tapu Fini. I am clenching right now. So I go for the double Protect, and I actually get it, which was insane. I knew that the only way I was going to win this game right now, or at least even be close, is if I got the double Protect. So I had to go for it. Unfortunately, I went for a Toxic, and I missed. In retrospect, I probably should have gone for like an Ice Beam or something on the Koko, but it ended up being okay. But I actually get the double Protect here, which is insane. Insane clutch right there. But I had to do it. I felt like the only way I was going to win is if that was the case. So the Fini is going to come in, bring in the Misty Terrain, expecting me to once again go for a Toxic. But at this point, I'm like, all right, I just have to do damage. I just have to do damage to this Koko, because right now this Porygon 2 and this Fini is pretty much donezo. So I have to start doing damage to the Koko. So I hit it with an Ice Beam, and I pray that it does enough damage. It unfortunately does not, but it does a decent amount. And me being close to, if not full health at this moment on my Porygon 2, this is definitely something that I can definitely make this back, as the Toxic is not going to do it again. It's so frustrating. I just need this thing to die. So here's the play right here. He gets the Moonblast with Stab using Nature's Power, which is kind of cool. It all depends on what I decide to do here. So I actually get the Special Attack drop, which in reality at this point isn't going to really matter. I still do enough damage. He's going to go for a double Moonblast on my Porygon 2, trying to do as much damage to it as possible. But I end up going for the Recover, which was the absolute best play I could have done. The Koko is going to die no matter what. Okay, I just need to get rid of Fini and his Porygon 2, and the Toxic is going to do that for me regardless. So the Fini is gone via the Toxic. So now I'm in a 1v2 situation. I went from a 2v4 to a 1v2, and I definitely am able to bring this back, especially now that I know that my Porygon outspeeds his. That is so important. My Porygon 2 outspeeding his, meaning that I'm going to be able to kill this thing with an Ice Beam before he is able to recover. So he's going to use his Nature Power, go ahead and do the Moonblast, and it's not going to do nearly enough, as Porygon 2 is just a tanky beast. And his Life Orb is going to go ahead and take off the rest of his health. That I was not expecting. And I'm going to get an Ice Beam here, and it's going to be all she wrote, making a 2v4 comeback. It was insane. My DS was literally like this close to dying. It was flashing red. I was just clenching the entire time. But wow, what a battle. What it was one of those things where I'm just like, wow, I made some misplays, especially with the Gyarados as well. I made some 50-50 guesses that didn't end up being correct, but overall, I played around my Porygon 2, and me having Toxic on my Porygon 2 was the only reason why I won that, instead of Trick Room. And I was able to effectively play around Misty Terrain, able to effectively use damage use information that I got, the fact that I outspeed his Porygon 2, the fact that even a Moonblast from both of his Tapus wasn't going to do the trick. You know, all this different type of knowledge that I got over the course of the battle was able to secure me this win. Again, I finished with a 3-3 record, ended up losing the very next round, finishing with a 3-3 record, getting 18 out of 35 players. But I'm really excited. This is one of the best battles that I've ever been a part of. So thank you to my opponent. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos, VGC, all over the place here. My name is Tito. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you down the road. Adios!